Oregon man has been arrested after firing 20 to 30 rounds of ammunition from inside his home, ripping through his neighbors' houses just because he felt like it. Now, this is a picture here of Stephen Scholz, who went on this shooting rampage at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning, and he said, "I figured I'd just shoot at random because I had all these guns. Hurting my neighbors is the last thing I want to do. I love them, guys. I would lay down my life for them. They have families. I have nothing." Now, one of his neighbors describes her experience during this time. She said she heard at least 9 gunshots over 20 minutes, and some of the bullets fired through her daughter's room, a garage door, and her husband's pickup truck parked outside. Another neighbor said that her son was barely missed by one of these bullets. And now Scholz was charged with a felony count of unlawful use of a weapon and 8 misdemeanor counts of recklessly endangering another person. So he's still going to go to trial on that. And he did go under a psychiatric evaluation. But as of right now, he's allowed.
Can I guess which way that comes out?
Yeah, he's allowed to go back home as of now, but he doesn't want to. Wait, are you ready for this? He doesn't want to because he's not comfortable returning to his home because he doesn't feel like he's going to be in that warm of a neighborhood now that he almost shot all of his neighbors.
So, okay, so again, I feel like I've got a unique perspective.
Oh wait, let me clarify. Sorry, nobody's injured, nobody died.
Okay, we got that. But because I'm coming in from a different country where guns, if you see a gun in the United Kingdom, right, and I noticed this when I took my girlfriend back to the UK, you're immediately taken back because you just don't expect to see it, right? We don't, there's not a lot of guns in the UK, but when you see one, you're immediately taking notice to it because it's not regular. It's a regularity in the US to expect that guns are around, right? And therefore that poses the exact response that we see here, and the same response that we seen when it came to the 4-year-old who shot her mum is, I'm not going to change. And this response here was crazy to me, basically, that said, I just shot at random because I had all these guns.
Yeah.
The same thing with the 4-year-old, when her mother, the 4-year-old shot her mother, basically, by having the gun, is because her response was, he gets jacked up when he plays with these guns. We try to give it to him because it's so regular in this country, it's so engraved in the culture that kids are brought up seeing it. People are brought up to want to try and experiment with these guns. You can have all these guns in the world. You think they're just going to keep them in their locker and not want to use them? That was the reason which took me back, is that he wanted to use them because he had all them. They're redundant just sitting there. What am I going to use them for? Just leave them there to look at? No, I want to go and I want to use them. That is such a problem for me. That is such a problem culturally when I look at the U.S.
This case proves almost exactly what I've been saying for how long now, that I've literally been screaming about. If you have all these guns, some crazy people are going to have them because we're a large country. A certain percentage of the country is mentally ill. I know people who treat the mentally ill get very upset when I say that. Yes, a lot of the mentally ill don't have these kinds of problems. We shouldn't judge all of them. Some of them do, right? And so when we give guns to everybody, including the mentally ill, including anybody who goddamn wants it, right? At some point, some guy's going to get them. No, at a lot of points, a lot of crazy people are going to get them. And then they're going to say exactly what this guy said. I used to say it metaphorically. He said it literally. Well, what else would I do with them, right? I mean, I have them. I might as well use them, right? And so that's what he did here. And that's the state of play in the whole country. We have all these guns, over 250 million guns floating around in the country, waiting for somebody to pick them up and go, what else was I going to do with them? And then people say, oh, guns don't kill people. People kill people. Yeah, no, but people kill people with guns.
Yeah.
and then they say the most obvious thing. It takes somebody this imbalanced to say something this obvious. What else would I do with it? It's a gun. It's not a knife. I can't butter my bread with it. It's not a car. I can't drive to a grocery store with it. It's a gun. The whole point is to kill things with it. And by the way, now we're having a discussion about whether this guy's going to go back home. If I'm in his neighborhood, are you kidding me? No, we're not letting this guy out and go back home. And then the usual, if he was black and shot up people's house, especially white people's house, he ain't going back home. If he was Muslim and he shot up somebody's house, he ain't going back home. Okay, here we go again, but it's Stephen Scholz. And that's a tough break that he shot up some poor family's house. We'll have to figure out what to do with him, golly gee.
And that's the reason he's being let off, because nobody, one, I think race plays a huge issue, and nobody was injured or hurt, but I don't think that should be a qualification of whether or not you're a safe member of society just because you have bad aim.
And they're encouraging people to take the law into their own hands with this whole insanity with so-called gun rights. If that was my house and I got my kids in that house, and this some bitch shot up my house, trust me that he's not moving back next door to me. Trust me on that. Okay. Now he's got guns. Now how am I going to make sure he doesn't move it back in and shoot up my kids again? Now I'm going to have to get a gun, and this is how we devolve into chaos.
Right.
And also her quote as well, I think you've mentioned this a few times before on the show, is it's like, it's scary because you think you're safe in your own home. Like, when are we going to get over that assumption? Like, you're not safe in your own home. How many people have walked into their work, San Bernardino, everything else, and expected them to be safe in their own home? And that is the automatic answer. Oh, well, if there's more guns, then you've got a better chance of protecting yourself. But it's because there's more guns than people in this country. So it is, it's a numerical advantage that people who are not sane, nonetheless are looking for alternative motive for guns, that they're going to end up getting their hands on one, and they're going to take it into their own action. And this situation infuriates me so much because of that answer. What else was I going to do? That's my hobby. And guns, by the way, I understand. I was a tourist at one point before I lived here. It was something that I was interested in. I wanted to be able to come here and shoot a gun and go to Vegas and shoot guns. And then when you start to live here, you realize that it's just so accustomed to this culture that it becomes so scary for me, wanting to raise kids in this country, wanting to live here, that it is such a cultural normality that people just expect guns to be part of it. Now, I'm not foolish in thinking that we just take guns out, that suddenly it does it, that solves the issue, because that's not the way it's going to work out.
Right.
But you got to find a way to regulate it more. You got to find a way to try and improve the system to monitor it as if you're monitoring someone who's driving. Like, for instance, the 4-year-old who shot her mother, like, that should be treated as if it's like a driving offense. Like, that she shouldn't be allowed guns after that, because basically her kid could have killed her in that situation. But nonetheless, she's still going to get her hands on guns again. She's still going to get it in another situation. And the next one, she might not be as lucky.
Yeah, look, again, I'll double down. Number one, it's okay to be intellectually curious about guns, or just curious, not even intellectually. I've gone to firing ranges. I've fired every kind of gun there is, and it's interesting, right? I don't then take out that bazooka that I fired, right, and go around like this in the neighborhood and see if, it's my hobby. Let me just shoot up the place. I'm not careless about it. I only do it in a shooting range, right? And then, by the way, you say we can't take them away. I disagree. I know I'm the most liberal on this position, and people get upset. Yeah, I would take your guns away, okay? And I would say you can have your guns. If you would like to go hunting, you go to that government office and check out your gun, okay? They have it. You don't, okay? And if anybody has a gun outside of that context, we're going to arrest you and put you in prison for a long, long time until we stop shooting each other, right? So that way I'm going to keep your kids safe. You don't like it? I keep your kids safe from secondhand smoke. I won't let you smoke near them in many different contexts, okay? I can't keep you safe, your kids safe from your secondhand bullets? Yes, I can, right? So, and on this whole idea of, oh, golly gee, I'm surprised I got shot in my own home, right? Why are you surprised? Everybody's got a gun. It's the least surprising thing in America. Get it through your thick skull. Everybody's got guns. It's almost gotten to a point where you're more likely to get shot than not get shot. Terrorism, you're worried about terrorism. This is terrorism. We did it to ourselves.